Hello, guys. Welcome to Bible Voice Inspired. And first of all, I want to thank you, all of you, for subscribing to this channel. We have reached to 1,000 subscribers. I'm happy. And thank you so much for all of you who believed in this channel to just subscribe to that button. And I'm also urging all of you who are watching and have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to this channel so that we can reach to so many people who need to hear these words and be motivated, elevated, because that's our mantra. So today, we are addressing this topic called unreciprocated love. As you have read the title, you can actually get to know what topic I'm actually addressing. And I just want to give my honest view and share with you what it feels like, the pain, the emotions, and how we can find solace in God and understand the depth of human love and this pain of the reciprocated affection. And so you sit, listen, and if you have any question, you can comment on the comment section and I will actually reply to you. I don't think it will be a very long session, but I pray that it gives you hope that you will heal. It's a phase in your life. You will transition, you'll be a great person, and you'll do what God has purposed you to do. So let's get into the video. So why does it hurt when you love and sacrifice so much for the one your heart loves, but it never um, reciprocates? It's never reciprocated by the one you love. So I know this question most of us can resonate so deeply because loving someone who does not love you the same way, and you have invested with this person, can leave you heartbroken and very much confused. And as I said earlier, we'll be exploring what happens, the emotion that accompanies it, and how we can find solace in God, especially that part. And we get to also understand human love and the pain of not reciprocating that affection. So, section one, I'll put it in terms of sections. So, section one, the pain of unreciprocated love. Whew! When we love someone deeply, we open ourselves to be vulnerable, and being vulnerable is actually a good thing because you're learning some of the things about the other person that you didn't know, and that's why you're doing it and putting it out, expressing yourself because it's a unique and a loving thing. And you just want to show this person that, you know what, I really care and I really love you. So what is love? Love is meant to be mutual, an exchange of care, support and affection. But when that love is not returned, it feels like something is missing, which is true. How can I be putting so much effort to give you everything in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of me even buying new goodies? I'm investing so much to you, but you're not reciprocating. It feels so bad. It just drains you the moment you just realize you're doing too much for the other person, but it's not reciprocated. So the sacrifices are made, the time is spent, the energy poured into relationship can seem wasted, and the pain is really hurting. it really hurts. And it's natural to wonder why such deep pain accompanies unreciprocated love. And we'll go to the Bible. We see where this pain that you're feeling, it's actually in the Bible. It has been well addressed in the Bible. And the story that has really addressed this issue and this unreciprocated love is the story of Jacob and Leah. I know most of us have read the Bible, and we have actually been taught about this story of Jacob and Leah, but I know most of us did not see it in that perspective, but it is what it is anyway. So in the Bible, we see the pain reflected in the story of Jacob and Leah. So Leah loved Jacob deeply, but Jacob's heart was set on her sister Rachel. As we all remember the story, it is in the book of Genesis 29. You can go and read it for yourself. And we all remember that Jacob went to Laban, and his eyes only was set for only Rachel. But because I think it was the tradition of Israel, Jacob at that time, uh, it was like before the second child or the second born is married, the firstborn has to be married first, so that they give a leeway for the second one. I think that's a tradition in so many countries. I don't know, but I guess it's there. But yes, so Laban, when Jacob worked for 7 years, because that was the agreement, he works for 7 years and then he gets Rachel. But Laban, the father of Rachel and Leah, decided, you know what? You cannot have Rachel first. You have to have Leah because she's the eldest sister and she has not yet been married. And you want to come and take Rachel. So Leah, when 7 years came to be and the ceremony was arranged by Laban, him being given now Jacob being given Rachel, but somehow Laban switched and gave Jacob Leah. I know Jacob felt like, what? This is not what I worked for. But because he was really eyeing for Rachel, he took it upon himself because of that love and worked another 7 years so that he can get Rachel. So the 7 years that he was working to get Rachel, Leah was there. And as he was in this thing, Leah gave it all, but Jacob, I don't think he was really there. So I know Leah really felt not being given the affection she needed, though it seemed like it was a forced marriage. Truth be told, it seemed like it's a forced marriage, but anyway. Even though it's forced, I think Jacob could have given Leah some, just a little love, even if it's brotherly love, you know, because we're in this together, a friendly love could have worked. But anyway, Leah longed for Jacob's love, yet her efforts to win his affection were met with indifferences. So in Genesis 29:32 tells us that Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, because the Lord has looked upon my affliction, for now my husband will love me. So Leah thought giving birth, because God blessed her with a baby boy, Reuben, and she felt like this one will make Jacob love her. So Leah's hope was that by giving Jacob a son, he would finally love her. But despite her sacrifices, Jacob's heart did not change. It didn't change. So Leah's story actually reminds us that even in biblical times, unreciprocated love caused deep emotional pain. And you may ask me, why does it hurt so much? I'll give you my honest opinion. Reason one why unreciprocated hurts so much is that love involves giving a part of yourself to someone else. Every one of us have loved someone, and you always give somebody a, a part of you, and he or she gives you their part. So when love is not returned, it feels like rejection, not just of your feelings, but who you are. Like you've been rejected. We have invested our emotions, our hopes, our dreams into this person we love, and when they don't respond in kind, it feels as though we've lost something of greater value. And in the book of Proverbs 13:12 says, hope differs makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. It's everybody's desire to be loved and the love to be reciprocated. But when it is not reciprocated, the hope differs. And it can indeed make you feel sick. Another reason it hurts so much is because love is closely tied to our identity. We often find validation and self worth in being loved by others. So, when that love is not reciprocated, it can lead us to question our value or worth. I know most of us have been in that state where you're like, do I really deserve all this that I've been done by this person? Like, how do I give you all my love, all my attention, all my time, and you find it easy to just not reciprocate it? Should I should I really tamper with my identity and my worth just because you don't want to do that for me? Is it wrong for me to just love you? Is it that I'm not enough? Those are some of the questions we kind of ask ourselves. But God reminds us that our worth is not defined by human love. In Isaiah 43:4, God declares, you are precious in my eyes and honored, and I love you. Even when others fail to love us, God loves us, and his love remains constant and unconditional. I'm telling you, that verse should be your verse. Every day you just say it to yourself when you wake up and when you go to sleep. You just say Isaiah 43:4, and God declares, you are my precious one. Like, you are precious in my eyes and honored, and I love you. Those words should be like your day in, day out words to just make you know that you're more valuable than the way you see yourself. So when somebody decides not to love you, that's their problem. You have done your part, you have done it to the best you know. But sometimes these sacrifices with no return, they hurt us. So why sacrifice and then you don't get any return? So when we sacrifice for someone we love, we do so out of a desire to make them happy or build a strong connection. Sacrifice is an act of love, by the way, and it shows that we are willing to put the other person's need above our own. Wow, I know I am actually doing that, and that I really need to just rethink what I am actually doing. But when those sacrifices go unnoticed and unappreciated, it can leave us feeling empty. Very true. You permit me, I'm having a cold. But yeah. So Jesus himself experienced this type of unreciprocated love. Very true. Many of the people during Jesus' time really rejected him. Even today, people are still rejecting Jesus. So I imagine when he's just above in heaven and still people are still rejecting him, he feels the pain because he actually sacrificed himself for us, and yet find it easy to reject him. It's the same way you just do so much for this one person you love, and he or she just decides to reject you. It's painful. It's the same way with our Christianity life, like our spiritual life, our religion life. So many people during Jesus' time until date rejected him. In John 15:13, Jesus says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." So Jesus' love was perfect and selfless, but not everyone responded to it. In fact, many turned away from him despite his ultimate sacrifice. Imagine, most of us would still turn away from God and Jesus because he's the one who went and he was crucified on the cross because of you and me. And the reason why he decided to be the one to be crucified is because of this sin which was not making us to come close to God. And so he decided to sacrifice himself for us so that we can have a fellowship with God. Like we can communicate with God through prayers and through Jesus Christ because he is the only purest sacrificial lamb that made it so easy for us to have um, fellowship with Christ. And so, if Jesus, the perfect example of love, experienced unreciprocated affection, we can be assured that it is not a reflection of our worth when our love is not returned. True. So, what are some of the emotional tolls that we get to encounter when somebody just decide not to reciprocate our love? So, the unreciprocated love can take an emotional toll. It can lead to feelings of sadness, frustration, and even anger. And apparently, most of us we're in the generation or era where everything is just on our phones because of internet. So you get to hear such stories where you find that somebody, because they loved this person, all of a sudden they left one another, but one decided to just use force, or how do I put it? Use just to become violent because somehow you don't know how to control your emotions. That's why you need to have self control. You need to know yourself. It's supposed to sink in you that sometimes you'll show this love and not everybody will reciprocate it. You need to learn how to control your emotions. Yes, take time, feel sad, feel frustrated, feel angered, but also take time so that you can declutter yourself. You can do things that are so meaningful to you. Just do things that you love the most to just bring the distraction so that you cannot do something that you'll regret later. So you may find yourself wondering why God allowed this to happen. Why would He let you love someone so deep if they are not going to love you in return? These questions are valid and it's okay to bring them to God. So the Psalms are full of raw emotions. The book of Psalms is where King David was just crying out to God, expressing his pain and confusion. And God would always listen to him. So in Psalms 30 and 34 verse 18 tells us that the Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in the spirit. Those people have been crushed in spirit, he saves. And he's always near when you reach to a point where you are heartbroken. So God does not ignore our pain. He's near to us when we feel heartbroken, and he understands the depth of our emotion. So how do we find comfort in God's love? So sometimes our human love can fail us, but God's love will never fail us. His love is unconditional, he's steadfast, as it is written in the book of Romans 5:8, which reminds us actually that God shows us love even though we are sinners. Christ indeed died for us. So God's love for us does not depend on our action or our ability to reciprocate. He loves us fully and completely, even when we fall short of not reciprocating his love. So when we experience unreciprocated love, it is important to turn to God for comfort. He understands our pain and is the ultimate source of love. In moments where you're having a heartache, we can find solace in knowing that we are deeply loved by the creator of the universe. In the book of Psalms 147:3, it says, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So God promises you that He's going to heal your heart and even bring your pain to Him. He Himself will bring the pain to Himself, and He will know how to just bind up your wounds. And I would really love us to actually understand God's perspective of love, because it is important. So in the book of 1 Corinthians 13, often refers to as the love chapter actually. So the Apostle Paul describes what true love looks like. In verse 4 to 7, he says, love is patient and kind, love does not envy or boast, love is not arrogant or rude, it does not insist on its own, it is not irritable and resentful, it does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. So love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. If you have that kind of love, in such I don't know, you just understand the perspective that God brings out, the love that we actually need to know. So this passage actually teaches us the true love that is selfless. It is not focused on what we can get in return, but on how we can give to others. However, even though love is selfless, it does not mean we won't feel hurt when it is not reciprocated. But you understanding God's love, or God's perspective about love, can help you navigate through the pain. So in this journey, you just have to trust God's plan. I know it's one of the hardest parts, uh, letting go of what you have been doing so that you can change for yourself. But I'll tell you, being the hardest part, you will enjoy the fruits of just walking with God and trusting His plan. Just you enduring that change, because the change will not be an easy journey. Actually, the changes in somebody's life, especially in their characters, in, let's say, all perspective of life, that you feel like you need to change something, that journey is never usually an easy journey. It's the toughest journey in everybody's life, but it is important because you're elevating yourself. You're just doing things in in a way that uh it's just like you're appreciating yourself, you know. So you may hold on to hope that one day the person you love will finally see your worth and love you in return. But sometimes God has different plans. So trusting God's plan for your life can be difficult, especially when it means letting go of the person you love. In Jeremiah 29:11, this is a common verse like everybody knows, which states that, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and hope." So God's plan for us are good, even when they don't align with our desires. Sometimes God allows us to experience unreciprocated love to protect us from a relationship that is not His best for us. It may be painful in the moment, but trusting God's wisdom and timing will ultimately lead to peace. So, how do we heal from this heartache? First, you trust God's plan. Second, just know healing from heartache takes time. It's okay to grieve the loss of what could have been. It's okay to feel sad, frustrated, and disappointed. It's okay. But in the midst of this emotion, remember that God is with you. He is the ultimate healer and He promises to restore your heart. In Matthew 11:28, Jesus invites us to come to Him with our burdens. He says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." When we bring our pain to Jesus, He offers us rest and healing. So we don't have to carry the weight of unreciprocated love to our own. Jesus is ready to bear that burden for you, for us, for everyone. So, first, trust in God's plan. Second, grieve. Feel sad, feel frustrated. It's okay. Take time. Don't jump from one relation because somebody disappointed you. You jump to another relation. No, take your time. During this time, just know God is listening. He's there with you. Jesus wants to carry your burden. Just give it to Him. And moving forward, after experiencing this unreciprocated love, which is not easy, moving forward is actually possible. One, how do you move forward? One, you surrender your pain to God. Two, allow Him to heal your heart. Three, trust that He has a plan for your life. Even if it looks different from what you envision, just know He has a plan for you. He knew you even before you were born. So He knows that this stage you had to go through it so that I can prepare you in a different way. I want you to attract the person I want for you in your life. And four, surround yourself with a supportive community of friends and family who can walk with you through this season. Remember, your worth is not defined by whether or not someone loves you back. Your love comes from being a child of God. And He loves you more than you can imagine. In Romans 8:38-39 assures us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. No matter what happens in human relation, just to know that God's love is always present and unwavering. Okay? So moving forward, you're going to move forward. You're going to move past all this emotional turmoil and you're going to come out as a conqueror. So believe in this thing, put them into practice, and I'm telling you, if I was the one going through this, because I did go through this, I'm still transitioning, I'm still doing all this that I'm sharing with you. And I can actually testify of something. happening in my life that I actually saw it never happening, but it's actually happening, and I am grateful. So, my final thoughts are unreciprocated love will always be there. It's just that it landed on you right now and you don't know what to do, but we are here. We share what we are feeling because emotions are involved, time has been involved, money has been involved, energy was involved, but somebody's child decided not to reciprocate it. Same way, we don't reciprocate to God's love even when He offers it all to us. So, as you sit down to just reflect, as you sit down to feel this pain of sadness, of being rejected, of being heartbroken, just know God is seeing you, God is there with you. He's just next to you. He wants you to open your heart and tell Him, I've been facing so much. I didn't see it coming. I felt it in my guts, but I didn't see it coming. I didn't know there's such a pain like this that somebody can feel and just be broken. I didn't know. Cry it out. God listens. Jesus is ready to carry your burden. I myself am a testimony that I just decided to surrender everything the way it is because it's not once or twice or thrice that I've been rejected. I've been rejected so many times by people's children, by people too. Like people have rejected me so many times, and it just gave me a different perspective of what I also do to my God. He knows me. He knows me better. He's the one who created me in my mother's womb. He knew my dad and my mom are going to meet and I'll come to this earth. He knew that I'm going to encounter all this. To some point, I even questioned, why, God, did you allow me to go through this? I wasn't even ready. But actually, He was preparing me for a greater thing. Maybe to talk to you, to share with you what I went through, the pain I felt. There's so many nights I cried. There's so many nights I would just take things and just crush them, like glasses, plates, just to feel, to just outburst my pain because nobody was there to listen to me. And so I decided, let me just go to God and just say everything because at the end of the day, His Spirit, He will not tell me, I told you so. He will not tell me, or He will not judge me. He will not bully me. He will not say that, look at her. She's just a crybaby, you know. But because His Spirit, He's silent, He's listening. That is one of the things I just decided, you know what, I'll take that. He's there, He's listening, and I'll forever share my everything with Him because He'll never, never judge me. He will never misunderstand what I am saying. He will understand it the way it is because that is how I feel. And truth be told, right now I feel so much better telling my God whom I cannot see. And He brought people who I can say they are my confidant. I only have one confidant whom I can tell God brought him to me and I share whatever I feel. I would just feel it within my gut that I need to tell him, and I'll tell him. And he will just listen. He will not talk. He will listen and tell me, just say it all. Just remove, just say what is in your heart. If it is burning, say it. So God is my first person that I tell. before I tell anyone else. And he himself will give me a way on what to do. Or he will bring somebody to just show me some clarity on some things that maybe I never had, or I just muted my eyes, not or my ears, not to listen. You know, but God is the first person you need to have in your life. Just know him being a spirit is an advantage. He listens, he will never judge you, he will never underrate you, he will understand you the way you are. And he will bring the right people into your circle. That's why it starts with God. And he himself within his powers and his reign and his glory will find the right people for you to connect to. The people who will support you, who will walk with you in this journey. And be rest assured that his love will never fail you, and his promises to heal you and heal your broken heart will eventually come. So this is my final remarks. I hope this video has taught you one or two things that you need to know about God, and you not receiving that love doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Just know God is with you, God is your partner, God is your friend, God is your everything. Just turn to him. You don't need to be so perfect. I don't know how people portray God out there, but for me, God is that friend that you will never have in your life. Is that friend who is ever concerned about you. Is that friend who brought Jesus so that Jesus would die for you to have this connection, to just know he's there for you. Just give him a chance. Just give God a chance. Give him that chance to walk with you, and you shall be rejoicing like the way I am rejoicing. So I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers, and kindly subscribe to this channel. And if you feel like this message has touched you, you can share it with your friends and families who are going through this kind of rejection, this kind of unreciprocated love. And let's create a community where we're just telling each other the truth and we are working with each other. It's because God is love, and this love we need to share it. Until next time, bye. I'll see you when you see me. Okay? Okay.